My precious soul, something is happening right now and you were not meant to scroll past this moment. You didn't find this message by accident. There is a reason your eyes stopped here tonight, a reason your spirit feels slightly stirred, even if you can't explain it. Because something important is shifting in your life at this very second, and if you ignore it, you may miss a turning point that was divinely designed just for you. Pause for a moment and feel this, not with your mind, but with your heart. Have you noticed something strange lately? A quiet restlessness, a sense that things are changing but you can't quite see how. Maybe you felt more emotional than usual, or unusually tired, or even disconnected from things that once felt normal. These are not random feelings. These are signals. These are spiritual tremors, subtle waves moving through your life, preparing you for something that is already beginning to unfold. And here is the truth that may surprise you: this shift did not begin today. It has been building for days, maybe even weeks. Behind the scenes, in ways you cannot physically see, something has been rearranging itself in your favor. Doors you didn't even know existed are being positioned. Paths are quietly aligning. And standing in the middle of it all is Archangel Michael, watching, protecting, and guiding this moment with precision. But listen carefully, this is where it becomes urgent. Not everyone will recognize this shift. Not everyone will respond to it. Many will ignore the signs, brush off the feeling, and continue as if nothing is happening. And because of that, they will remain exactly where they are. But you were chosen to hear this. There is a reason your spirit is being awakened tonight. There is a reason this message found you now and not earlier, not later, but now. Because this moment carries weight. It carries purpose. It carries the kind of energy that can quietly change the direction of your life if you choose to receive it. You may not see the full picture yet, and that's okay. You are not supposed to understand everything at once. What matters is that you recognize this feeling, this gentle but persistent pull within you. That is not confusion. That is not imagination. That is a divine nudge calling your attention. Something is being released. Something is being realigned. And something new is preparing to enter your life. But only if you stay aware, only if you stay open, and only if you choose not to ignore what your spirit is trying to tell you right now. This is not just another night. This is not just another message. This is a moment that has been waiting for you. And the question is, will you listen? There is something you need to understand, and it may change the way you see everything that has been happening in your life recently. The signs have already been there. Quiet, subtle, almost easy to dismiss, but they have been following you, repeating themselves in ways too precise to be coincidence. You may have overlooked them, brushed them aside, or tried to explain them logically. But deep down, something within you knew this was different. Think back over the past few days, or even the past few weeks. Have you noticed patterns that don't quite make sense? Moments where a thought kept returning to you again and again, even when you tried to ignore it. Perhaps you felt drawn to certain places, certain people, or even certain decisions without fully understanding why. That is not randomness. That is alignment. That is the beginning of a shift trying to make itself known. Sometimes these signs come as emotional waves. You may have felt sudden bursts of clarity followed by moments of confusion. You may have felt a strong urge to step away from something that once felt comfortable. Or maybe you sensed a quiet dissatisfaction, like something in your life no longer fits who you are becoming. These are not problems. These are signals. Your spirit is adjusting, preparing you for something new, something higher, something more aligned with your true path. And then there are the external signs. the conversations that felt too perfectly timed, the unexpected delays that frustrated you at first, but later made sense, the opportunities that appeared suddenly, or the doors that closed without explanation. These are not accidents. These are divine rearrangements. Even the things that seemed inconvenient or disappointing were serving a purpose you could not yet see. Archangel Michael has been present through all of this, even when you didn't realize it. In moments where you felt uncertain, when you questioned your direction, when you felt alone in your thoughts, there was protection around you. There was guidance being offered in ways that didn't always look obvious. Sometimes guidance does not come as a loud voice or a clear instruction. Sometimes it comes as a feeling you cannot ignore, a subtle push in a direction you didn't expect. You may have also noticed a growing awareness within yourself, a sense that you are no longer the same person you were not long ago. The things that once excited you may no longer hold the same meaning. The conversations you engage in may feel different. You may even feel like you are outgrowing certain environments or relationships. This is not loss. This is evolution. This is what happens when a shift begins to take hold. But here is where many people make a mistake. They wait for something dramatic, something undeniable, something impossible to ignore. They expect a loud sign, a sudden breakthrough, a moment that forces them to act. But the truth is, the most powerful shifts often begin quietly. They begin in these small, almost invisible ways, and only those who are paying attention will recognize them for what they truly are. Right now, you are being asked to become aware. Not fearful, not anxious, but aware. To look at your life with a deeper sense of understanding. To trust that what you have been feeling is not meaningless. It is not confusion. It is communication. It is your spirit responding to something greater that is already in motion. There is a reason these signs have been persistent. There is a reason they have not left you alone. Because this shift is not optional. It is necessary. It is part of a path that is unfolding whether you fully understand it or not. But how you respond to it, that is where everything changes. You are standing at a quiet threshold right now. And the signs you've been overlooking are not just hints, they are invitations. There is a sacred stillness surrounding this very night, and whether you realize it or not, your spirit has already recognized it. This is not just another evening passing by like all the others. There is a divine weight to this moment, something deeper than routine, something that reaches beyond what your eyes can see or your mind can explain. Tonight carries an energy that has been set apart, a moment carefully aligned for something important to unfold within you. You may not hear a loud sound or see a dramatic sign, but something within you feels different. It is subtle, yet undeniable. It feels like a pause in the noise of life, like a quiet opening where clarity can finally enter. This is how spiritual shifts often begin, not with chaos, but with a calm that feels almost unfamiliar. It is in this calm that divine messages are able to reach you without interference. There are moments in life that are ordinary, and then there are moments that are orchestrated. Tonight is one of those orchestrated moments. It is a point of alignment where your past, your present, and your future begin to converge. Things you have been through, things you have struggled to understand, and things you have been waiting for are all connecting in ways that are not random. This is divine timing at work. Archangel Michael is especially present in moments like this. When a shift carries this level of importance, there is protection placed around it. There is a guarding of your energy, a shielding from distractions that might try to pull you away from what truly matters. Even if your surroundings seem normal, there is something happening beyond the surface. There is a preparation taking place within your spirit, a strengthening, a clearing, a readiness being formed. This is why you may feel more sensitive tonight, more aware, more reflective. You might find yourself thinking about things you haven't thought about in a long time. Memories may surface, emotions may rise, or questions may come to your mind without warning. This is not coincidence. This is your spirit responding to the opening that has been created for you. There is also something being released tonight. Something that no longer belongs in your life is quietly losing its hold on you. It may not disappear instantly, but its power is weakening. The attachment is loosening. And in its place, something new is beginning to take form. But this process requires your awareness. It requires your willingness to acknowledge that change is not only coming, it is already here. What makes this night different is not just what is happening around you, but what is happening within you. You are being invited to step into a deeper level of understanding, to move beyond surface thinking and into spiritual awareness. This is not about forcing anything or trying to control the outcome. It is about recognizing the moment for what it is and allowing yourself to be present within it. There are times when life moves quickly, when everything feels rushed and overwhelming. But then there are moments like this, where everything seems to slow down just enough for you to see clearly. Tonight is one of those moments. It is a pause filled with purpose, a stillness filled with movement, a quiet space where something powerful is taking shape. If you ignore this night, it will pass like any other. But if you choose to be present, to listen, to feel, and to trust what is unfolding, you will begin to notice something remarkable. You will begin to see the shift not as something distant, but as something personal. Something that is happening for you, not around you. This is your moment to become aware of the divine rhythm moving through your life. This is your moment to recognize that you are not disconnected from what is happening. You are at the center of it. And as this night continues, what is being set into motion will not simply fade away. It will continue to unfold, step by step, revealing itself in ways that will soon become undeniable. Type "I receive this shift" in the comments if this is speaking to your spirit. Blessing code 5291 has just been released. And as you stand in this sacred moment, understand this. When you choose to respond to what is happening tonight, you are not just witnessing a shift, you are becoming part of it. This message, this presence, this divine alignment must reach every soul who is meant to hear it. When you give, when you sow into this mission, you become a vessel through which light travels to others who are still searching. The word says, "Give, and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over." This is not just a verse. It is a living promise speaking directly to you now. And in this very moment, you may feel it in your heart. I am being called to act. Do not ignore that feeling. This is your opportunity to release a seed into fertile ground. Your support through Super Thanks or PayPal is not just a contribution. It is a prophetic act that opens doors, not only for this message to spread, but for blessings to flow back into your life. The links are in the description, and the QR code is placed before you for a reason. Step into obedience. Activate the flow. There is something that must be revealed to you now, something that has been hidden beneath the surface of your everyday life. What you have been experiencing is not just emotional, not just mental, and not just circumstantial. There has been a battle surrounding you, a quiet, unseen struggle that you may not have fully recognized, yet you have felt its weight. It has shown up in your doubts, in your moments of hesitation, in the resistance you encountered when you tried to move forward. And yet, you were never alone in it. This battle was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to prepare you. There were times when things did not make sense. You tried to take steps forward, but something always seemed to slow you down. You made plans, but delays appeared out of nowhere. You felt motivated one moment, and then suddenly drained the next. These were not random disruptions. These were points of resistance, moments where opposing forces tried to keep you from stepping into what was being prepared for you. But here is the truth that changes everything. While you were facing these struggles, there was protection around you the entire time. Archangel Michael hath been standing in the unseen, guarding you in ways you could not physically witness. Every time something did not go as expected, every time a situation fell apart, every time a connection weakened or ended, there was a reason behind it. Not everything that leaves your life is a loss. Sometimes it is a removal of what could not go with you into your next season. You may have questioned yourself during those moments. You may have wondered if you were making the wrong choices, if you were missing something, if you were somehow falling behind. But what you could not see was that you were being redirected, not rejected. You were being shielded, not abandoned. There is a kind of battle that does not look like conflict on the outside. It looks like confusion. It feels like stagnation. It shows up as uncertainty. But beneath it all, something much deeper is taking place. Your path was being protected from things that were not aligned with your purpose. Doors that seemed promising but carried hidden consequences were being quietly closed. Situations that could have drained you were being removed before they could take hold. And now, as this shift begins to reveal itself more clearly, you are starting to understand why certain things had to happen the way they did. You are beginning to see that what felt like setbacks were actually safeguards. What felt like delays were actually divine timing. This is the moment where clarity starts to replace confusion. You are no longer standing in the same place you were before. Even if your surroundings look similar, something within you has changed. You have been strengthened in ways that you may not have noticed at first. The things that once shook you no longer have the same power. The doubts that once felt overwhelming are starting to lose their grip. And this is not by accident. When a shift of this magnitude begins to take place, there is always a period of resistance before the breakthrough. There is always a moment where everything feels uncertain before it becomes clear. That is where you have been. That is the space you have been moving through. But now, something is different. The resistance is weakening. The confusion is clearing. The weight you have been carrying is starting to lift. And the reason for that is simple. The battle that surrounded you is no longer holding the same influence over your path. You are stepping out of that phase. And as you move forward, you will begin to notice something remarkable. The things that once felt difficult will start to feel easier. The clarity you were searching for will begin to appear naturally. The direction you were unsure about will start to reveal itself without force. This is what happens when protection has done its work. You were not being held back. You were being held in place until the right moment arrived. And that moment is no longer in the distance. It is here. There is a quiet process happening in your life right now, and if you are not fully aware of it, you might misunderstand it completely. Things may feel like they are slipping away, changing without warning, or no longer holding the same place they once did. At first, it can feel uncomfortable, even unsettling. But what is happening is not lost in the way you think it is. It is removal. And this removal is intentional. Not everything that has been part of your life was meant to stay. There are connections, habits, thoughts, and even environments that once served a purpose in your journey. They were part of your growth, part of your learning, part of the path that brought you to where you are now. But just because something was right for you before does not mean it is right for you now. And this is where many people struggle. They try to hold on to what feels familiar, even when their spirit is clearly telling them it no longer belongs. You may have noticed certain relationships shifting. Conversations that once felt easy now feel forced. People who once understood you now seem distant or disconnected. It may even feel like you are outgrowing spaces that once felt like home. This can be confusing because part of you remembers what those things used to be. But your spirit is not focused on what was. It is responding to what is becoming. This is not rejection. This is refinement. Archangel Michael is working in this phase of your life with a precision that you may not fully see yet. What is being removed is not random. It is anything that cannot align with where you are being guided. It is anything that would slow down the shift that has already begun. Sometimes this removal is gentle, happening gradually over time. Other times, it feels sudden, like something has been taken away without warning. But in both cases, the purpose is the same: to create space. Because something new cannot fully enter your life if there is no room for it. You may also be noticing internal changes. Thoughts that once felt natural are being challenged. Beliefs you once held strongly are starting to feel uncertain. You may find yourself questioning things you never questioned before. This is part of the same process. It is not just your external world that is shifting. It is your inner world as well. There are limiting beliefs being released right now. Patterns that kept you in a certain place are beginning to break apart. Even the way you see yourself is changing, whether you realize it or not. And this can feel uncomfortable, because it requires you to let go of identities you have carried for a long time. But understand this clearly. You are not losing yourself. You are uncovering who you truly are beneath everything that was placed on you. There is also an emotional aspect to this removal. You may feel moments of sadness, confusion, or even resistance. You may wonder why certain things could not stay the way they were. But those emotions are part of the release. They are not signs that something is going wrong. They are signs that something is being cleared. Holding on will only make the process feel heavier. Letting go will allow it to move more smoothly. This is where trust becomes essential. You are being asked to trust what you cannot yet fully see. To trust that what is leaving your life is not being taken from you without reason. It is being removed because it cannot go with you into what is coming next. And what is coming next requires clarity. It requires alignment. It requires a version of you that is not weighed down by things that no longer serve your path. You are not being left with less. You are being prepared for more. As this removal continues, you will begin to notice a shift in your energy. You will feel lighter, even if everything around you has not fully changed yet. You will start to see things differently. You will respond differently. And slowly, the space that is being created will begin to fill with something new. This is not an ending. This is a clearing. And once the clearing is complete, what enters your life will make sense in a way that what left never could. There is something remarkable happening beneath the surface of everything you have been experiencing, and if you are paying close attention, you may already begin to feel it. While certain things are being removed, while certain paths are fading away, there is also something else taking place at the same time. A door is opening. Not loudly, not in a way that demands immediate attention, but quietly, steadily, with purpose. This is how true opportunities often appear. They do not always arrive with sudden excitement or obvious signs. Sometimes they come gently, almost unnoticed at first. A new idea begins to form in your mind. A new direction starts to feel more appealing than the one you have been on. A sense of curiosity begins to grow where there was once hesitation. These are the first movements of a door beginning to open. You may not yet see the full picture of what this opportunity looks like, and that can feel uncertain. But understand this: you are not meant to see everything at once. If you were shown the entire path immediately, it would overwhelm you. Instead, what you are being given is a step, a feeling, a quiet pull in a direction that may not fully make sense yet. This is where awareness becomes your greatest strength. Archangel Michael is guiding this opening with intention. Just as there was protection in what was being removed, there is also guidance in what is being presented to you now. This door is not random. It is aligned with the shift that has already begun in your life. It is connected to the growth you have been experiencing, even if that growth felt uncomfortable at times. You may begin to notice small changes in your surroundings. New conversations may arise that spark something within you. Information may come to you at just the right moment. You may feel drawn to explore something you had not considered before. These are not coincidences. These are invitations. But here is something important to understand: an open door does not force you to walk through it. This is where your choice becomes part of the process. Many people stand in front of opportunities and hesitate. They wait for certainty, for guarantees, for a clear sign that everything will work out exactly as they hope. But that is not how these moments work. A door opens as an invitation, not as a command. It requires your willingness to move toward it, even if you do not yet know what lies on the other side. And this is where fear can try to return. You may find yourself questioning whether you are ready. You may wonder if you have what it takes to step into something new. You may feel the pull to stay where things are familiar, even if they no longer fulfill you. But remember what has already been revealed to you. You have been prepared for this moment. The challenges you faced, the things that were removed, the internal changes you experienced, all of it was leading you here. You are not standing in front of this door by accident. There is also a timing element to this. Just because a door opens quietly does not mean it will remain open forever in the same way. Opportunities evolve. They shift. And sometimes, if they are not acknowledged, they begin to fade into the background. That is why awareness is so important right now. Not urgency in a fearful way, but presence in a conscious way. You are being asked to notice what feels different, to notice what draws your attention, to notice what feels aligned, even if it is unfamiliar. Because within those moments of noticing, you will begin to recognize the shape of what is being offered to you. This is not about rushing into something without thought. It is about being open enough to explore what is being placed before you, to take a step when it feels right, to trust the process as it unfolds, one layer at a time. And as you begin to move closer to this door, something else will happen. The uncertainty you feel now will begin to shift into clarity. The hesitation will begin to soften, and what once felt like a question will start to feel like an answer. This is how alignment reveals itself. The door that is opening in your life right now is not just about opportunity. It is about transformation. It is about stepping into a version of your life that reflects who you are becoming, not who you used to be. And the moment you begin to recognize that, the door will no longer feel distant. It will feel like it had been waiting for you all along. There comes a moment in every shift where logic reaches its limit, where overthinking no longer provides answers, and where the path ahead cannot be fully explained. This is the moment where faith becomes essential, not as a concept, not as a distant idea, but as a living force within you that guides your next step even when clarity is still forming. You are standing in that moment right now. Everything you have experienced so far, the signs, the removal, the opening of a new door, has brought you to this point. And now, the question is no longer about what is happening. The question is about how you will respond to it. Because this is where many people pause. This is where doubt begins to speak louder than trust, where fear tries to disguise itself as caution, and where the unknown starts to feel overwhelming. But faith does not require full understanding. In fact, true faith often begins when understanding is incomplete. It is the ability to move forward without having every detail figured out. It is the quiet confidence that even if you cannot see the entire path, the next step is enough. And right now, that is exactly what is being asked of you. You may feel a tension within yourself. One part of you senses that something important is unfolding, while another part wants certainty before taking action. This inner conflict is natural. It is part of the process. But it is also where your growth is being tested. Archangel Michael stands with you in this moment, not to force your decisions, but to strengthen your courage. Because courage is not the absence of fear, it is the willingness to move forward despite it. And the faith you are being called into right now is not blind. It is supported. It is guided. It is protected. Think about everything that has already been aligned in your life without your full control. The moments that worked out in ways you could not have planned. The situations that resolved themselves when you least expected it. The doors that closed only to lead you to something better. These are not coincidences. These are reminders that you are not navigating this journey alone. Faith is built through these moments. And now, you are being asked to rely on that same trust again. Not because everything is guaranteed to be easy, but because everything is being guided with purpose. You do not need to have all the answers tonight. You do not need to know exactly how everything will unfold. What you need is the willingness to trust that what is happening is leading you somewhere meaningful. Here is also something important to understand about doubt. Doubt does not always come as fear. Sometimes it comes as hesitation. Sometimes it appears as overanalysis, as the need to wait just a little longer, to gather just a little more information. And while reflection can be valuable, there comes a point where waiting becomes avoidance. This is the moment where you must recognize the difference. Faith moves you forward. Doubt keeps you in place. And right now, staying in place is no longer aligned with the shift that has already begun in your life. You have already outgrown where you were. You have already been prepared for what is ahead. The only thing left is your decision to step into it. You do not have to do it all at once. You do not have to make a dramatic leap. Faith often looks like a small step taken with intention. It looks like choosing to trust your inner knowing, even when it does not come with complete certainty. It looks like allowing yourself to move in the direction that feels right, even if it is unfamiliar. As you begin to do this, something powerful will happen. The path that once felt unclear will begin to reveal itself more naturally. The answers you were searching for will start to come to you without force. And the confidence you thought you were lacking will begin to grow with each step you take. This is how faith works. It meets you where you are, but it does not leave you there. And in this moment, you are being invited to step into that movement. To trust not just what you see, but what you feel. To recognize that even without full clarity, you are being guided towards something that is already aligned with your life. You are not being asked to have all the answers. You are being asked to trust the process that is already unfolding within you. Listen closely, because this is not just another thought passing through your mind. This is a message meant to reach you at the exact moment you are ready to hear it. It is steady, clear, and filled with a strength that does not come from within you alone. This is the voice of guidance that hath been surrounding you, waiting for you to become still enough to receive it. You have been questioning yourself more than necessary. You have been wondering if you are truly ready, if you are truly capable, if you are truly aligned with what is unfolding in your life. But the truth is simple, and it does not require overthinking. You are already in position. You are already where you need to be for this shift to take place. There is no mistake in your timing. You may feel like you should have figured things out by now. You may feel like you are behind, like others are moving faster, like you have missed opportunities that will not return. But that is not your reality. That is a perception created by doubt. What is real is this: everything that has happened has brought you into alignment with this exact moment. Nothing has been wasted. Every delay, every challenge, every moment of uncertainty has served a purpose. Even the things that felt like setbacks were part of a larger movement that you could not yet see. And now, as this shift becomes more visible in your life, you are beginning to understand that you were not being held back. You were being prepared. This is what Archangel Michael wants you to hear clearly. You are not lacking anything you need to move forward. The strength you are searching for is already within you. The clarity you are waiting for is already forming. The direction you feel unsure about is already being guided. What you are experiencing right now is not confusion. It is transition. It is the space between what was and what is about to be. And in this space, it is important that you do not lose trust in yourself. You have already come further than you give yourself credit for. You have already made decisions that required courage. You have already let go of things that were not easy to release. These are not small actions. These are signs of growth, signs that you are moving in the direction you are meant to go. There is also something else you must understand. Not everything will make sense immediately. There will be moments where you still feel uncertain, where the next step is not completely clear. But that does not mean you are off track. It means you are in the process. And the process is where transformation happens. Archangel Michael is not asking you to have perfect clarity. He is asking you to remain steady, to remain aware, to remain open to what is unfolding without rushing to conclusions or retreating into doubt. Because when you stay in that steady state, something powerful begins to happen. The answers begin to come to you naturally. The direction becomes clearer without force. The confidence begins to build without you needing to chase it. This is the kind of guidance that does not overwhelm you. It meets you where you are and leads you forward step by step. And right now, you are being guided more than you realize. So release the pressure you have been placing on yourself. Release the need to have everything figured out immediately. Allow yourself to move with the flow of what is happening instead of resisting it with questions that do not yet need answers. You are not being left in uncertainty. You are being led through it. And as you continue to move forward, you will begin to see that what once felt unclear was actually forming into something precise, something intentional, something that fits into your life in a way that nothing else could. This is not confusion. This is alignment taking shape. Type "I trust the process" in the comments if you receive this message. Lesson code 8842 is now activated. And as this message settles into your spirit, understand that you are not the only one being called into this moment. There are others who are still searching, still waiting for confirmation, still hoping for a sign. When you respond, when you act, when you give, you become part of the channel that carries this message to them. The word declares, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days." This is not just a verse. It is God speaking directly into your action right now. And you can feel it within. I am ready to sow into this. This is your moment to release that seed. Through Super Thanks or PayPal, you are not just supporting a message, you are igniting a ripple that reaches souls across the world. The link is in the description. The QR code is placed before you for a reason. Do not delay what your spirit is prompting you to do. Step into this act of obedience and watch how it returns to you multiplied, overflowing, and undeniable. There is something you need to face with honesty, not fear, but awareness. Every moment like this carries a choice. Not a loud, dramatic decision, but a quiet one that shapes the direction of your life more than you realize. And while much of this shift has been guided, protected, and prepared for you, there is one part that cannot be done for you: your response. Because ignoring its shift does not stop it from existing. It simply delays your alignment with it. If you choose to dismiss what you have been feeling, if you push aside the signs, if you convince yourself that this is just another passing thought, then life will continue. On the surface, everything may appear the same. Your routines will remain, your surroundings will stay familiar, and nothing will seem immediately wrong. But beneath its surface, something important will remain unresolved. You will feel it in subtle ways. A quiet sense of being out of place. A lingering feeling that something is missing. A repeated thought that you were meant to do something more, but you cannot quite grasp what it is. This is what happens when a shift is recognized but not embraced. The awareness does not disappear. It stays with you, gently but persistently, reminding you that there was a moment you were meant to respond to. And over time, that feeling can grow. Opportunities that were once clear may become less visible, not because they were taken away, but because they were not acknowledged when they first appeared. The clarity that was beginning to form may become clouded again by doubt and distraction. The momentum that was building may slow down, not because it was meant to stop, but because it was not supported by action. This is not punishment. This is simply the nature of alignment. When you move with it, things begin to flow. When you resist it, things begin to feel stuck. There is also something deeper to understand. Ignoring a shift does not keep you in a neutral place. It often pulls you back into patterns that you have already outgrown. You may find yourself revisiting situations that you thought you had moved beyond. You may feel drawn back into habits or environments that no longer feel right. This is not because you are failing. It is because without forward movement, the only direction left is backward. And that is not where you are meant to remain. You have already come too far to return to what no longer aligns with you. Archangel Michael has been guiding you away from those very patterns, helping you release what no longer serves your path. But guidance does not override your choice. It supports it. It strengthens it. It clears the way for it. But ultimately, you must decide to walk forward. There is also a cost to ignoring what your spirit is trying to show you. Not a cost in loss, but a cost in delay. The life that is waiting for you does not disappear, but your experience of it can be postponed. The peace, the clarity, the opportunities, they remain available, but they require your willingness to step into them. And the longer you wait, the more distant they may begin to feel. But here is something important to remember. This moment is still here. You have not missed it. You are not too late. The fact that you are hearing this now means the shift is still active. The invitation is still open. The door is not closed. But your awareness of it is what determines whether you move closer or remain where you are. This is not about fear. This is about recognition. You are being shown the difference between staying the same and moving forward. You are being given the opportunity to choose alignment over comfort, growth over familiarity, clarity over hesitation. And the truth is simple. Ignoring this shift will not protect you from change. It will only delay the transformation that is already meant for you. So the question is not whether something is happening. The question is whether you are willing to step into it. Because everything you have felt, everything you have experienced, everything that has been leading you here has been guiding you toward this exact moment of decision. There is a reason everything has been leading you to this exact point, and now it becomes clear why this moment matters so much. After all the signs, the shifts, the removals, the opening doors, and the inner stirring you have been feeling, there is one simple yet powerful action that brings everything into alignment. It is not complicated. It does not require perfection, but it does require your presence. Tonight you must choose to become still, not just physically but internally. You must create a moment where the noise fades, where the distractions lose their hold, and where you allow yourself to truly connect with what has been unfolding within you. Because clarity does not come through chaos. It comes through stillness. You have been receiving signals, but now it is time to respond. Find a quiet space, even if it is just for a few minutes. Step away from everything that pulls your attention outward. Sit with yourself without rushing, without forcing anything, without trying to control what comes next. And in that stillness, begin to acknowledge what you have been feeling. Do not analyze it. Do not judge it. Simply recognize it. There is power in recognition. When you acknowledge something fully, you bring it into clarity. You allow it to take form in a way that your mind can begin to understand. And right now, what you have been feeling needs this space to be seen clearly. As you sit in that stillness, there is another step. You must release. Release the need to have everything figured out. Release the pressure you have been placing on yourself. Release the attachments to outcomes that may no longer align with where you are being guided. This does not mean giving up. It means creating space for something better to enter. You have already seen that certain things are being removed from your life. Now, you must participate in that process by letting go willingly instead of holding on out of habit or fear. Letting go is not weakness. It is alignment. And once you create that space, there is one more step that completes this action. You must declare, not out loud for others to hear, but within yourself with clarity and intention. A simple, honest declaration that you are ready. Ready to move forward. Ready to trust what is unfolding. Ready to step into what is being opened to you, even if you do not yet see the full picture. This declaration is not about convincing yourself of something false. It is about aligning yourself with what you already feel deep within. When you do this, something shifts immediately. You may not see a dramatic change in your surroundings right away, but internally, there will be a movement. A sense of direction that was not there before. A calmness that replaces the tension. A quiet confidence that begins to take root. This is the beginning of active alignment. Archangel Michael responds strongly to moments like this. Not because of ritual, but because of intention. When you step into awareness, when you release what no longer serves you, and when you declare your readiness to move forward, you are opening yourself to guidance in a way that is direct and clear. You are no longer waiting for something to happen. You are participating in it. This is the difference between passively experiencing life and actively aligning with it. And tonight, you are being called to take that step into active alignment. It does not require hours. It does not require special conditions. It requires sincerity. Even a few minutes of true stillness, honest release, and clear intention can create a shift that continues to unfold long after that moment has passed. Do not underestimate the power of this action. It may seem simple, but it is exactly what connects everything you have been experiencing to what comes next. It is the bridge between awareness and transformation. And once you take this step, you will begin to notice that things start to move differently. The signs become clearer. The path becomes more defined. The uncertainty begins to fade. Because you are no longer standing at the edge. You are stepping forward into the shift that had been waiting for you. There is a version of your life that already exists ahead of you, and it is closer than you think. It is not something distant or unreachable. It is not reserved for someone else. It has been forming quietly, patiently, as everything in your life has been guiding you toward it. And now, as you begin to respond to this shift, you are stepping closer into that reality. This transformation is not just about external change. It is not only about new opportunities, new situations, or new outcomes. It begins within you. Because the life that is waiting for you requires a version of you that is aligned, aware, and no longer held back by what you have already outgrown. You are becoming that version now. You may not see the full transformation all at once, but you will begin to notice it in moments. In the way you think, in the way you respond, in the way you carry yourself. Situations that once overwhelmed you will begin to feel manageable. Decisions that once felt confusing will start to feel clearer. You will find yourself moving with a sense of direction that does not come from pressure, but from inner alignment. This is how transformation reveals itself. It does not rush. It does not force. It unfolds in a way that feels natural, even if it once felt impossible. And as it continues, you will begin to see changes in your external world that reflect what is happening within you. And new opportunities will appear, and this time, you will recognize them without hesitation. You will not second-guess yourself in the same way. You will feel a quiet confidence guiding you forward. The doors that once seemed uncertain will now feel aligned with your path. You will also notice a shift in your relationships. Not everyone will come with you into this next phase, and that is something you are beginning to understand without resistance. The connections that remain will feel more genuine, more supportive, more aligned with who you are becoming. There will be less confusion, less tension, and more clarity in the way you interact with others. This is not about losing people. It is about finding alignment. There will also be a sense of peace that begins to settle within you. Not a temporary calm, but a deeper stability that stays with you even when things are still unfolding. This peace comes from knowing that you are no longer resisting the direction your life is taking. You are moving with it. And when you move with alignment, things begin to flow in ways that once felt out of reach. You may also begin to experience moments of clarity that feel almost effortless. Answers to questions you have been holding onto will come to you without struggle. Decisions that once felt heavy will feel lighter. You will no longer feel the need to force outcomes, because you will start to trust that what is meant for you will meet you in the right way. This is the result of everything you have been moving through. The challenges, the confusion, the removal, the stillness, the faith, it was all shaping you for this transformation. And now, you are beginning to step into it, not as someone who is uncertain, but as someone who is becoming aware of their own alignment. Archangel Michael remains present in this phase, not just as protection, but as guidance. The same presence that helped you through the earlier stages is now helping you navigate what comes next. But the difference now is that you are more aware of it. You are more connected to it. You are no longer questioning every step. You are beginning to trust it. This transformation is not something you need to chase. It is something you allow. It is something you step into by continuing to remain aware, by continuing to release what no longer serves you, and by continuing to trust the direction you are being guided toward. And as you do, you will begin to see something clearly. The life you once hoped for is not separate from you. It is something you are moving into, one step at a time. Everything that has been unfolding, everything that has been shifting, everything that has been guiding you has been leading you here. To this transformation, to this alignment, to this new beginning that is no longer in the distance, but already taking shape within your life. Now, as everything begins to settle within you, take a slow and gentle breath. There is no rush anymore. The urgency that brought you here has already served its purpose. What remains now is something deeper, something calmer, something that allows you to rest in the knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. You have heard what you needed to hear. You have felt what you needed to feel. And whether you fully understand it yet or not, something within you has already shifted. This is the quiet beauty of moments like this. They do not always arrive with noise or intensity. Sometimes they come softly, like a whisper that carries more truth than anything loud ever could. And that whisper has reached you tonight for a reason. You are not the same person you were before this moment. Even if everything around you looks the same, something inside you has realigned. Your awareness has deepened. Your perspective has expanded. And your spirit has recognized something it was always meant to remember. You are guided. You are protected. And you are not walking this path alone. Archangel Michael's presence does not leave when the message ends. It continues with you, quietly, steadily, surrounding you with a sense of strength that you can return to whenever you need it. In moments of doubt, that presence will remind you. In moments of uncertainty, it will steady you. And in moments where you feel ready to move forward, it will support you. You do not need to force anything from here. What is meant to unfold will unfold. What is meant to come into your life will arrive. And what is no longer aligned will continue to fade without struggle. This is not something you need to control. It is something you allow. There is peace in that understanding. There is comfort in knowing that you are not responsible for making everything happen on your own. Your role is not to carry the entire path. Your role is to walk it with awareness, with trust, and with openness to what is being placed before you. Tonight was not about giving you all the answers. It was about reminding you that you are already on the path. And from this point forward, you will begin to notice the difference. The way things feel, the way you respond, the way clarity begins to appear without force. These are the signs that you are moving in alignment with the shift that has already begun. To allow yourself to rest in this moment. Allow yourself to trust what you cannot yet fully see. Allow yourself to move forward without pressure, knowing that each step will reveal what the next one needs to be. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are not missing anything. You are right on time. And as this night comes to a close, carry this with you, not as something you need to hold tightly, but as something that naturally stays with you. A quiet knowing, a steady confidence, a peaceful awareness that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Type "I am aligned" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 9917 is now activated. And as this peace settles into your spirit, hear this clearly. What was revealed tonight is not meant to stay with you alone. It is meant to flow through you. The word speaks life even now, saying, "Those who sow in tears shall reap in joy," and this is your moment to respond as a vessel of that promise. You can feel it rising within you. I am ready to help this reach someone else. Do not silence that call. When you give through Super Thanks or sow through PayPal, you are not supporting a channel. You are releasing living water into dry places, carrying this message to souls who are waiting in silence. The link is already placed in the description, and the QR code stands before you as an open door. This is not just giving. This is obedience. This is alignment. Step into it now, and as you do, may your seed return to you in ways that overflow, uplift, and transform your life.